Have you ever wanted to make renders like this, or this? Well, all these renders were made using the website called mechabricks.com. Now, on this website, you can build models digitally, such as this. See, this is a speeder bike here. You can also render things. Now, in this series, I am going to be showing you the way that you render all of these different things. Of course, we'll start off with the basics, I guess. Actually rendering a model. Now, for the first episode of this tutorial, I am going to be rendering this race car. Now, it's a custom built Formula E Lamborghini race car, so it's not anything that impressive, but I will take you through the basics of rendering. I'll have other episodes in this series that will teach you things like lighting your shots, using the camera to its best advantage, positioning your shots, etc. But in this particular render, I'm just going to be showing you the basics, how to actually render photorealistically a digital Lego model using mechabricks.com. Now here we have this Lamborghini Formula E, as you can see. I'm going to press 1 to get the clearer view on it. And the first thing you want to do with any render is pick a place where you want to look at the car, or look at whatever you're rendering. For me, I'm rendering a car, so I want it to be right here. Now, you see this button down here? This is a camera. There's no hotkey for this, but when you press this button, it will add a camera to the middle. Now, of course, you can move the camera around using the arrows as you would any other Lego piece on Mechabricks. But for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do, which is a very handy tool, by the way. You see over here, lock camera to view? Press that. Now, if you leave that on, it's just going to move the camera with your view and it won't help anything. But if you lock it to your view, then you turn it back off, it'll stay in that place and it will not move at all. Now, to actually render anything, you must first go into 3D rendering mode. Now, once you're in 3D rendering mode, if you do not have a lighting environment already set up, which we do not here, or any environment for that matter, you're going to probably want to use an HDRI. Now, if you turn this off, the entire model will appear black. There will be no lighting, so unless you have lights already there. So, yeah, nothing will be there. But if you turn it on, there's a multitude of options. There's options for studio lighting. There are options for outdoor style lighting. For this tutorial, we're just going to use this because it reminds me somewhat of a car in a dark showroom. Now, as we do not have any other pieces besides this car, if we just rendered it, it would be literally floating in space, and we do not want that. So, we are going to add a floor. It might take a second to load in, depending on how large your model is and how many shadows are being cast. Now, once it is loaded in, you can choose the scale of the floor. I'm going to set it to 25 because it seems to be the right size in relation to this car. Now, you can change the material. I prefer to use dielectric as it does not reflect too much light. And I'm going to change the color of this floor to black. Now, for the background, which is important because even if you switch to camera view, you can see, even though we have the floor, there's no background that will cover anything else up yet. You will only be able to see the background in camera view. If I go out of camera view, as I just did, and click background, nothing will happen. But if we go into camera view and click background, you'll see that a background comes up. Now for this background, I'm going to choose a red color because I feel like that will contrast well with the rest of the black in the shot. And now, I am going to render. You can set your samples to however high you want. I prefer to have them all the way at 200, which is the highest you can go without paying any money. See, if I go to 225, it will not let me pay money. And I also like to use full global illumination. Now, you may be wondering about compositing. I will do a full tutorial on utilizing these to their fullest capabilities. But for now, I'm just showing you how to actually render a model. Now, once you have the samples set to however high you want, the more samples you have, the clearer it will be. And now you just press the render button. Note that you only have 10 free renders per day. Now, Megabricks is set to New Zealand time, so you might want to check that to know when exactly the cycle resets. But 10 free renders maximum. Any more than that, and you have to pay credits. So you can buy credits and you can use credits, but I don't have any credits currently. So for now, we're just going to use this free render and render this model. Since I had the use credits on, it would not let me render it. If you do not have, you make sure that you do not have used credits on. Go under render, and it will take a minute, take a while, but I'll see you when it's all rendered. And here's the finished product. As you can see, I did not make the floor big enough at all. So if I were to render this again, which you can do as many times as you want as long as you stay within the 10 free renders limit, I would obviously make the floor larger. But for now, here's something that most beginners forget to do. You do not screenshot it to download this render. You go down here, you scroll down, see, and then there's download. So I'm going to download this render. The render will be saved as a .zip file, so you will have to open it in your files before you can use it anywhere. And yes, I believe this concludes my tutorial on basic rendering. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.